fix us for those topless wonders in Naha.
Topless wonders.
Topless wonders. I don't know. Goju people can't keep their tops on. They keep taking them off. All right. All right, Joshua. Kick us off.
Hey, sensei. Kyotsuke. Ushiro mo ate migi. Gito obi naos. Hey. Shome. Sensei ni de. Dozo onegashimasu, sensei.
はい、どうもありがとう。どうぞお願いします。
Konbanwa, sensei.
Konbanwa, everybody. How's it going?
It's going good.
Going any better?
Temperatures today?
I know. Yeah, it's like just to make you feel really good, Robert. It's like 80 today.
It's about 34 here, 35.
Yeah. Below?
It actually went up above 0 Celsius today.
Woo!
Oh, nice. It's going to be back down into the 50s for us by Sunday. So, you know, it's short-lived, but certainly nice to go walking around outside in shorts and like, woohoo!
Wait, you all right, hey guys, just do some quick warm-up. Well, then I know a place for you. Say yes. Back to the middle. Say no. I don't like to go. Yeah, when I was in Montreal, it is what it was. It wasn't, you know. That's the first like real winter I've ever experienced, and did okay. Back to the middle. Take it around.
I was gonna say, you want real winter, you go to Canada.
Stop. Take it the other way. Yep, that's pro level.
Northern U.S. winters suck, but Canada is they reign supreme up there.
But I mean, you know, it is what it is. Take the middle. I mean, you know, the world didn't grind to a halt. We just kept going. Arm out. Take it out.
I've got about 4 foot of snow in my backyard right now.
That ain't right. That ain't right.
Haven't seen the dog for days. Take it across.
They still do, but
little tunnel through there. Switch.
My son actually built an igloo last week, and big enough for him to go. He's 16.
Man, any country that has a town named Moose Jaw in it, you know, they know all about cold and wildness.
Heel down, finger up. Yeah, I mean, it was the first time I rolled out there and I was walking the dogs, and you know, the snow was deeper than the dog's tail walking. I was like, okay, and they bailed off in there and like disappeared. That was pretty funny. Switch.
The snow we got here, my dog enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Layer up.
It wasn't like super deep, so.
So did Bee's dog.
Hand it, take it around. They yeah, as long as you were armored, and you know, I'm betting everyone's enjoying the, you know, getting to work from home though. They're like, screw that. That was one of the things. I guess I didn't have to load up in the morning, take the other way. I had to load up every morning and drive into an office. So that's probably one of the things.
Yep. That's the biggest thing about winters that sucks usually, is when you have to like go to places, and you know, every time you come out, your car's covered with, you know, snow, or you have to wait for it to warm up and all that kind of stuff. Just becomes a hassle. It's not unbearable. It's just, you know,
you get used to it.
And your sensei's like saying, like, whatever, dude.
No. I lived in Indiana with crappy ass winters for, you know, 26 years, and I never got used to it. First chance I got, I moved to a place where snow's a rarity.
And boy, you about did it too.
I sure did. I'd rather deal with flash thunderstorms than snow of any sort.
Yeah, because they eventually go away.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, in like 5 minutes.
Yeah. Sure, it may flood and carry your car away, but you know what? You know, it's coming. You can see it on the radar. It's going away.
Well, if you're dumb enough to drive in it, then, you know, you kind of deserve your car floating away.
Yeah. All right. Did I ask you, Shudo? Axe Kiki.
Hey.
Come on.
Hello.
I don't know who's calling me.
James Pool Hall. Who in the hall would you like to speak to?
Go do it, Drew. Let me make sure there's nobody important.
Switch. Hey.
Tell what's going on there.
I'm done it. Presents. Hey.
All right, well, I'll figure that out.
Hunter. Other side. Heat.
All right.
All right. Back to center. Feet shoulder width apart. Hikodachi. Bend down the waist and stretch. All right, bring it up. And again, in deference to our Kyokushin friends, Hikodachi. Good. Keep keeping the Naha tradition alive also. This is right before our shirts come busting off, so we can do this one.
Negative.
All right. Bring it up. Musubidachi, shields together, hands on your knees, take them around. Other way. All right, come back up. Hikodachi. Roll your ankles. Outside in. Everybody, we know Colton's doing it.
Nice to see him moving.
All right, hands out in front of you. Wave, bye-bye. Make sure to try and keep the arms straight. Don't use your elbows, use your wrists.
Keep them floppy.
Flipping, flopping, flipping, flopping.
Let me go floppy.
All right, turn your hands over, palms up. Same deal. All right, roll the ball. Make it a big ball. And no cheating in doing kata, sensei. Well,
Always doing kata.
Can't apply warm-ups to actual techniques. That's not fair. All right, flick your fingers. Nice hard flicks where you can hear them. Good, grab the gi. Roll those fingers. Good one.
All right. Ooh, yeah. All right, Kihon, let's do some back up again. I was going to say, I sent you our list of our basics. Did you get those? Yeah. All right. Do you guys have a set like that, or?
Yes, actually, it's about 39 hand techniques and 12 foot techniques. So
Oh, okay, great.
it's
Let's run through.
similar.
So let's run through our basics, and if one pops into mind, it sounds really cool, then we'll do one of yours, or a couple of yours. All right. Kihon, kick us off. Actually,
Hey,
McIntyre, what's first?
Double punch.
We're just double punching? Or we just kind of doing this?
Middle double punch.
All right, we just kind of doing a double middle punch.
Front stance.
All right, that'll work. Count it.
Miyashi Shiro, Zenku Tadashi, Yuransuki, Niseiken, Ma, Hit, Knee, Top, Hit, Go,
Hey!
Hit, Touch, Hit, Do,
Hey!
all right.
Look at the Bible.
And then double punch. High.
Hey, Jodansuki, Niseiken, Ma, Hit, Knee, Top, Hit, Go,
Hey!
Hit, Touch, Hit, Do,
Hey!
Good. Get that karate face going. Look at the Bible.
Sweep punch block.
There we go. Sweet
so,
punch block.
what he said. Colton, your count.
Hi, senpai. Ich. Me. Son. She. Go. Hey!
Hey.
Roku. Sich. Hutch. Q. Jew. Hey!
Hey.
Okay. Thinking about
And cross body block.
Right?
that a statement or a question?
Statement.
There you go.
Uchi.
Uchi-uke.
Hit, hit, Top,
There you go.
Hit, Go,
Hey!
Hit, Touch, Hit, Do,
Hey!
And single bone block.
Hey, shit, I had a quarter.
Takuke.
It's
All right.
Takuke. It's just closed hand, Robert. So. Yeah. So yeah. Kind of like your uchi-uke, only palm down.
Sarah, your count.
Oh.
Ichi. Ni. San. Shi. Go.
Hey!
Roku. Ishi. Hachi. Ku. Ju.
Hey!
Sugabago.
Shuto.
All right.
Got the boot.
Right. Hump, knee. Hump,
32.
hit. Go. Hey.
Hey!
And right here, Sarah, at the elbow, right?
Oh.
I know there's been a recent change of doing it a little more like this, but.
Nice and safe.
I,
So it's now here instead of up here?
no, it's not now here. It's always been here. It's actually, depending on who you talk to, it's now more here now. So, but it's here.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Got it. Thank you.
But almost everybody else on the planet does it like that. As ever since they do Shuto. See how they do it? See? Pretty much everyone else winds it up here. We don't. Well,
Okay.
we didn't used to, and so now we're anyway. We'll talk about that towards the end of class. Number 9.
Double punch. Ki.
Okay.
Hey. Just so everybody gets a good ki in, Ichikai on every second punch. I'll count this one. Make sure that nobody has an excuse for not ki in. Come on.
Hey, everybody.
Hey!
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey!
Boom. Hey.
Hey!
Hey.
Hey!
Hey.
Go.
Hey!
Hey.
Whoop.
Hey!
Hey.
Hey!
Hey.
Hey!
Hey.
Two.
Hey!
Hey.
Two.
Hey!
Hey.
Although I was since I probably can't Kia because he's probably got kids sleeping upstairs. What time it is?
Yeah, it's all right. He's a guest, so it's acceptable.
Kia in French.
I just put the microphone off because
Stand
my
up.
son is playing video games.
Oh, never mind then. All right, Kia, as loud as you want. Tell me, say
Is it ki in French more like quoi? You didn't have to answer that. That was just a joke.
hey. What's next? Are we talking to them? They're
Down
not
block.
important.
Hey, Colton, your count.
Hi, senpai. Ich. Ni. San. She. Go. Hey! Roku. Stitch. Hutch. Q. Jew. Hey!
To the Bible.
Double bone.
Hey. Sarah, your
Shouldn't
count. Okay.
Ichi. Ni. Sun. She. Go.
Hey!
Roku. Ishi. Hashi. Ku. 2.
Hey!
High block.
You're blocking old school.
Right. I was black belting it.
Juranke.
Come on. Hey. Hey. Jump. Hey. Go. Hey.
Hey!
Teach. Hey. Two. Hey.
Hey!
Okay. What do we got?
Punch, kick under.
Hey. Suki Getty. Nice. Cool. Why don't you count this one?
Gyakuzu.
Ice and
My
pie.
daddy. Oh, there.
Ich.
Hey.
Me. Son. She. Go. Hey! Roku. Sitch. Hutch. Cool. Joe. Hey!
Good adaptation there, Sarah.
Right. So just for those that are new to these, it's reverse punch, Maigiri on the way up. On that last one, reverse punch, Maigiri, and you set back. And so then it's a lunge punch for Oizuki and kick off the front foot. So it switches it up. Right. All right.
Look at the bottom.
Break it down. So then we kick. Front
Well,
kick.
the one we just did is called what? What comes first?
Punch, kick under.
Right. So what's
So
the first
punch.
technique in there? There you go. Punch. Kudansuki. Ichi Seiken. Ichikai. Hey. Hey. Hey.
Hey!
Hey.
Hey!
Hey.
Hey!
Hey.
Hey!
Go.
Hey!
Hey.
Hey!
Hey.
Hey!
Hey.
Hey!
Hey.
Hey!
Hey.
Two. Hey.
Hey!
Hey.
Good.
Now we do front kicks.
Hey.
I get it.
I get it. Hey. So kick off the back leg on the way up on the number 5, kick and set back, and then kick off the front leg.
Hi,
Sarah. Sarah, your count.
Okay.
Maybe yes, you should.
Ichi. Ni. Sun.
I'm gonna roll the dojo.
Shi.
Knees up.
Knees up.
Go. Roku. Ishi. Hachi. Two.
There you go.
Two.
Hi.
So it's a adaptation, improvisation, but your problem is not in your technique. So backing up against the wall is a really good way of figuring out where your stance is. As has been said many times in this dojo, both virtually and in real life, and when you're going back, you're not leaning back, right, and kicking. You're not leaning back and kicking. You're choosing to kick with that front leg, and you're stepping back, right? So number one rule of dojo is
Head above the butt.
head above the butt, right? So if you're leaning back, your head on our normal XY plane that we exist on is no longer above your butt, right? So all your weight's kind of shifting back. You're going to put your weight on your back leg. You're going to put your weight back on your heel, and it's not no bueno with our system, right? So, but as Sarah just found out, she backed out and she kicked and she stepped back and then she kicked, but you really couldn't like lift your rear leg or whatever to kick because there was something right behind you and you probably stepped too far back. So when you're doing that, remember it's all it takes. You know, you can it shouldn't be a great move to like shift your weight to do that next front kick, right? You should be kicking and then come here and kick. So your stance needs to be short enough, not so short that you're basically standing on a dot and you're, you know, on a weeble wobble, but not so broad that you can't pick up either one of your feet, right? So when you go to stance cam 5000, what just happened there? Oop, on the wrong. Need a bigger boat, right? So when you're doing these, if you shift back and all that weight shifting back, you lift it and you kick, and you come too far back because you know you're going to shift back again and kick with that front leg. It starts a feedback cycle, feedback loop, right? Because now you shifted too far back, so now you've got to shift your weight back to do that front kick. So what's the number one rule of dojo?
Small change body.
No intent, right? So you intend to kick with that foot, and you intend to step right there, so you can kick with that foot, or shift back to that.
Licensing.
All right. You know, your feet don't just end up somewhere, right? They need to end up where you want them to go, so you can utilize either leg in either direction. All right. So it doesn't take that much until your weight does not pivot. You don't start shifting forward and back. You know, this stage here, use your knees and bend that up if you need to. You know, take up some of that grip. Use those little tricks that's going on, but don't let that step. So when you step back and you feel it, wow, then you shorten your step up a little bit, so that way you can kick coming back, right?
Hi, Sensei.
Hi, Sensei.
The more you kick that, if you're going fast, if you're going, if you're going slow, and you kick and then step back, you know that weight is shifting a little. It's a little more prevalent when you're shifting, right? So you feel it more maybe when you slow down than you do when you go fast. So if you're kicking and you kick and you let your weight shift back slowly, you're going to feel that shift, and maybe your stance is going to end up being wider. So when you kick, bring it back there, right? Because every kick starts and stops the same way, right there, and then just put it down. So that way you're in a good stance, right?
Hi, Sensei.
Hi.
10 more of them.
Hey.
Whomever. Good on you.
I'll count. Hey, come on. Hit. Knee. So. Kick. Go. Hey.
Hi.
Up.
All right, better.
6. Shoot.
Hey!
All right, good deal. All right. Something for us to work on.
Hi,
Do
Sensei.
it out, Sarah.
The block and kick.
Block.
Mayukite. Yoko Kingeri. So block
Right.
to the front.
Block. Move it
Kick to
away.
the
Kick. Come back. Yep, just like that, Robert.
All right, Sensei.
Whee! Say
All right. Hit. Hit. Pull. Hit. Go. Hit.
Hey!
Hup. Hit. Next. Hit. Hit.
Hey!
All right, let's do 10 more of those. And what I want you to emphasis yourself on is that block, right? It's a block. So if you're gonna snap it up, then bring it up. Someone's kicking at you, and you're blocking, and you're getting out of the way, right? You're putting your foot away. You're jamming their kick. You're kneeing them. If they're in kind of close, bam, you're gonna knee them or whatever. Move it, and then make a really sort of concerted effort to move that leg out of the way, and then kick, right? So the theory is you're doing kumite, you're fighting at midnight on your death duel, as one does in the cemetery, and you're lined up with your opponent, and they come and they throw a massive mighty at you or whatever, and you're blocking it. So you're blocking it and you're moving it out of the way, bam, and then you're kicking, probably to the inner leg or something, because you didn't do a my because you're toe to toe and fighting this way, as often happens. So when you come in and bring it, bam, imagine that kick coming in and you're blocking. You want to cut off your center line, right? You want to protect your groin, right? You want to get your knee up above his knee, probably. So your knee wants to be nice and high, right? And you're going to move it out of the way and kick, bam, right? So it's a front kick to the side, right? But I want you to imagine that leg, something like that right there. Boom, and you're going to kick that. I mean, you're going to kick their knee, you're going to kick their calf or whatever, but really see it. So I really want to see it block, move it, boom, and a kick, right?
Hi, Sensei.
Hi, Sensei.
I'll count 5. Knee. Don't. Shoot. Come on, block that kick, Colton. Go.
Hi, Sensei.
Which means fast. Shoot. Hutch.
Ah.
Shoot. Shoot.
Hey!
Snap it out. Wow. Moving that leg out of the way. And
Hi,
Hang on.
Sensei.
Think about it. Oh.
We have a similar thing, but we incorporate the arms with it, so you double block knee and arm out, opposite, and then you kick, but you protect your head as you block. So it's maybe because it requires coordination, top, bottom.
Coordination. We can't do that. Let's try it out. Is it a block? Well, I mean,
So you block, protect the same side as your leg, and block with the opposite hand, and then the same thing. The rest you kick, but it requires you get confused because the left, right, it's cross. So I think it's a good exercise.
Which hand is blocking? The one that you're kicking?
The block, you protect your head the same side as your knee.
Ah.
You opposite hand also augments the block with your knee, and then you kick and you come back, and then you block
Oh.
opposite side, and
Oh,
same side,
decent.
and then kick.
So that's a really good pass the box drill right there. Right, they're punching each other.
It's very
In here.
similar. Right. So you can block Mawashi also like that, right? Mawashi.
Right.
You want to protect against the Brazilian kick, so
That's
block,
Brazilian.
block the head and the bottom of your.
Ooh, that could also be a stop kick too, right? We come in.
Of course, yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, all kinds of good stuff on that.
When I was doing Kyokushin before, we had that technique was talked about being a lot closer with your elbow and your knee to kind of close off that entire side.
Oh yeah,
so
you want to protect this.
So instead of being, you don't want to keep that knee low. It's another reason to get your knee up high. So bam, right, and it's kind of so you can block with your shin, you can block with your forearm, you can block with your knee, right? But it's protecting all that stuff and then come back around.
And the opposite hand helps create space also. Because if you're gonna kick after, if you block successfully, it's easier to come back and counter with an extra kick if you create that space.
Right.
All right, so we're gonna do that. And what we're gonna do is you'll start back from a Migashi Shiro. So that way, what's in one place. So when they come up, you're gonna see the villain and ruffian. Maybe they're gonna come in and do a swing. Maybe they're gonna come in and do a Mwashigeri. Maybe they're gonna come in and do a Maigeri. You can do some sort of Geri. All right, and you're gonna do that both hands in play, because what's the number one rule of the dojo?
Hands always be moving.
Hands always be moving, right? Active hands. All right, and you're gonna come up and do the same thing. You do that block, front kick to the side, right? But you're gonna put the hands in like Andrew Sensei was talking about. So you're gonna come in. You're just gonna cover up. All right. So all you're gonna do is just cover up. So this hand here is gonna cover up just like on a Shuto block, right?
Right.
Covering and protecting your center line. This hand's coming up, protecting your head, right? And you're gonna come in and do that block, right? Because it's gonna block, right?
This hand's gonna be open.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be like this. It's gonna be open.
No, you can have it closed if you want.
Yeah, you can do both. The idea is to coordinate bottom and top.
Yeah, it's just to get everything going on. Yeah, I mean, so that way you're creating a shield, right? Basically, of your body. If someone's coming in and doing a kick, bam, you don't know what they're doing, but whatever. So you're blocking up and coming in. Now, see, even though I kind of shrimp and do stuff like that, I'm trying to still kind of keep my chin up. But what I want us to do is you're protecting your center line, just like we do with. So this is a really great sequence there, Andrew Sensei, because so this is what I'm talking about. So all parts of our system, you can explode them and put them wherever you want, right? So what's the number one rule of the dojo?
Adapt, overcome.
Adapt, overcome, improvise. Fist distance, right? So that's a fist distance away from your body, right? This is about a fist distance away from your body. It's not right up against your head. I mean, it can be. It's fine, but I mean, you're going to say that's fist distance from your body. This is going to be about a fist distance from your body. That's about a fist distance from there, right? So that's how, you can come high. If you come too high, then you can kick yourself. So when you take these things, look at them. You're going to Migashi Shiro. They're going to come in. They're going to block. I'm protecting my center line. I'm protecting my head. You can have it closed. You can have it open. I don't care which. I'm protecting my center line. And then I'm protecting my center line with my kick. And then I'm going to block it up, do the block. So I'm doing the same technique we just did. But now I'm putting a little Kyokushin goodness on it. All right?
Nice.
So we're going to start out. Do 5 on one side, 5 on the other. Migashi Shiro first. So you'd be blocking with your left leg, blocking your head with your left arm. Your right arm is going to be here. All right, and then you're just going to block, kick aside. So when I do it, notice I'm not doing like that or anything. I'm still keeping blocked up.
Nice and
All right. It's me. Oh. She.
Nah.
And go.
Hey!
And if there's any black belts in the room, what I was doing on that one was I'm blocking, I'm moving it out of the way, and then I'm kind of rechambering again, a small rechamber, and kicking, like kicking to the other thing or whatever. So it's like, it's kind of moving it out and coming back and kicking. A little whip action.
Hi, Sensei.
All right, switch. Attack. So now you'd be coming up, blocking with your right, blocking high with your right, controlling your center line with your left. Come on, hit.
Hey.
Neat. Oh. It's that low hand, bring it up just like you're on a shuto.
Hi, Sensei.
Oh.
Kind of like you're doing a Goju Shiho. Shoot.
Oh.
There you go. Go.
Hey!
Nice. Now that we've taken a little detour, thank you, Sensei. Now we've done a little detour. What's next, Sarah?
Shin kicks.
Hey.
Thank David. Okay, so shin kick. You can do that with that too. Drew.
Hey. Right. Hey. Hey. Stop. Hey. Go.
Hey!
Hey. Hey. Hey.
Hey!
Good. Chicken mago.
Side kicks.
There we go. Yo spaghetti. Well, you can do that all kinds of places. You can just bang that up and bam.
Hey.
Golden, cut it out.
Hi, Sensei. Ich. Ni. Son. She. Go. Hey! Roku. Sich. Hutch. Kill. Jew. Hi!
What's the number on Roller Dojo?
Every kick starts and stops the same way.
Every kick starts and stops the same way, except moisture. All right. So, you know, when this comes up, you're not doing this, right? You're not loading it this way and doing that way, right? You're not doing this and doing that way. This is every kick in our system, right? And then it just snaps
Hi,
out.
Sensei.
Hi, Sensei.
Comes back, all right? So don't open it up. Part of the argument with that is, you know, if you're doing this and you do a side kick, and for whatever reason you do this, you're opening this part out. True, but your opponent's over there, so who cares, right? but for here, this is controlling our center line, keeping all our granola and stuff in one place, and then we're popping and coming out.
Hey.
Right? Do 10 more of those.
Hi, Sensei. What's that, Sensei?
Let's do 10 more.
Hey.
All right. Me. Oh. Cheat. Go.
Hey!
Up. Pitch. Hatch. Two. Two.
Hey!
I know. I'm kind of liking that. I'm kind of crushing it on a little bit. Finger Sensei, I may throw that in there. What's next?
Front side kicks.
Say that again.
Front side kicks.
Hey, simple.
Tempo Yokogiri.
Front kick to the side.
Hey.
Or side kick to the front.
Side kick to the front.
Side kick to the front.
A semantic but important difference.
Yeah, exactly.
There.
Didn't count for okay.
Hey, come on. Hey. Hey. Come. Hey. Go.
Hey!
Hey.
Hey!
Faster than the speed of sound. What's next? Oh, hang on. Oh, okay. What's next?
Back kicks.
Backo kicko?
Sure.
A roundhouse.
Are you sure?
No.
Yeah,
no.
a statement or a question?
Question, because I'm a little lost on that one.
And maybe your senpai, your next level up senpai can tell you.
Roundhouse kick. Mawashi Gary.
There we go.
Roundhouse.
So since you didn't know those, why don't you count them?
Okay.
Hey, remember, and we're gonna do these
Kicks every count.
low, medium, high. One count. Not fast, they're good.
Hi, Sensei.
Hi.
Hey.
Am I? Ichi. Knee.
Ace.
Sun.
Ace.
She.
Ace.
Go.
Ace.
Hey!
Anger Sensei said that beating us up, he's not putting his foot down, making us look bad.
Roku.
Show
Which, if
off.
you haven't already.
Oh, switch. My bad. We're just gonna do 10 each.
Yeah, hardcore.
Okay.
Ichi. I'm kidding.
Cold is not. He's here for it.
Knee. No. Hold on.
We're just gonna kick.
2. You. Hit.
Ooh. See the logo.
Back kicks.
There it is.
Come on. Hey. Hey. Go. Hey.
Hey!
Hey.
No more roll dojo.
Right above your butt.
Right above the butt. All right.
And look where you kick.
Yeah. All right, see you in a bottle. Got Beichin Khan in his house.
Side kick, then front kick.
There you go.
Hey.
And once again, to reiterate, as we did a week or so ago, those of you who came, Remember what these kicks used to be called? Hey, Ben Shankan. Snap kick, right? So it's a side kick.
Hi.
It's a front kick. Bam, bam. They just happen to be together, but it's a side snap kick, side front kick. All right, so quick. And then back down.
Right.
All right.
Hi, Sensei.
Hi.
Count up there, Colton.
Each. Me. Son. She. Go. Hi. Roku.
Oh, he's here for it.
Bitch. Hutch. Kill. Joe. Hi.
Snap, snap, snap. Make it
I'm sorry.
fast. Make it. Right here. If you want to look at it from a tactical perspective, is like you're maybe stopping them, right? So it's sort of the inverse of block and front kick to the side, and that's when you're stopping them. You could say, right? They're doing a kick, you do a quick body change and throw a side kick out, really a front side kick, but who am I to judge? Boom! You're stopping that kick, you're gonna chamber again, and boom, pop them. All right. So you gotta get out there quick. You know, even then, you know, doing this, you know, you get this is a block. Maybe you're blocking it and moving it out of the way and then kicking. All right. So this is a multi-tool. This isn't, you know, just a side kick and just a front kick. All right. Remember what uke means, right?
Right.
Hi. Block.
No. What does uke mean?
Training dummy.
Receive.
The receiver.
Means to receive, right? The person who receives the technique or to receive the technique. So when you're talking about a block, chudan uke, jodan uke, whatever, my uke, whatever, it means you're receiving the block, right? So what you do with it after that is neither here nor there, right? So if you're coming in and you're blocking someone's, I'm coming in, I'm receiving that technique, but that doesn't mean I'm necessarily blocking it. That's why, what's the number in the Rollers Dojo?
Our blocks are penetrative or deflective.
There you go. Our blocks are deflective, right? Well, our blocks aren't necessarily and they should be a little penetrative, right? They get the knuckles in there. So when you're doing something, you're blocking it, you're putting it in there, you're receiving that technique, and you're going to do something with it. So here's a really good example of a technique that is, you think it's a strike, the Gary, but it's not. It's an uke, really, because or it can be, because you're receiving that technique, you're receiving it, that comes in, you go out and get it a little bit, and then you're countering, right? So you're blocking and you're countering, you're receiving and you're countering. So you can think about it that way. But either way, there's one important, crucial component of either one of those. And it is a hallmark of our style, although I don't always example it. Speed, right? Mobility. So when you're doing this, so in this one, on Suganabago, the next one's a front kick, side kick. So it's the same thing. Maybe you're blocking them up and you're stopping it, right? Maybe you're just coming up and you're stopping it and then moving it out of the way. You know, either way.
Right.
Okay. So snap.
Nice and
Very
safe.
fast. Right. All right. Number
Nice and
that. Or number this.
A block is an attack, and an attack is a block.
Hey. Absolutely.
Hey.
Now, or as my close personal friend Ian Abernathy says, you're either punching somebody, you just punched somebody, or you're getting ready to punch somebody, right? But what you do to do all that is an uke, right? You got to receive it. Okay. Front kick, side kick.
Hey.
Shoot answer.
Right. Hit. 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 Go. Hey.
Hi.
Look at the Bible there.
Down block.
What's so special about this down block? If one to be asking.
Oh, fast forward, slow back.
Hey. I'll count. Good night. It's me, so, she, go, rope, teach, hatch, goop, juice. Back. It's. Me. Don't. Look at your feet, feel your stance. Shoot. Feel where your head at in relation to your butt. Go. Hey, do the vago.
It's reverse punch.
There we go. Colton, count us out.
Hi, Sensei. Ich. Hi.
Gakuzu.
Hi. Son. Hi. She. Hi. Go. Hi. Roku. Hi. Sich. Hi. Hutch. Hi. Kill. Hi. Jew. Hi.
And the sweep punch block.
Did that one already.
Block sweep jab.
There we go.
There you go.
Chirauke, kakeuke, nikute. Kakeuke, nikute.
Hey.
Hey.
What?
Kaku.
Hey. Go. Three. Go.
Hey.
Go. Six. Two.
Hi.
How are you gonna check how I doing the kick on the block?
I agree.
Rather than doing block sweep. Jab, because the throat's way over. Yeah. And maybe you actually be a kick, I guess, and bend him over, and then you go for the nikite.
Right.
But I rather.
Well, it's kind of the assumed reaction that they'll pull back, and they're looking at this, and they're not expecting, the Spanish Inquisition there.
No one expects it, right? Like a body change, right? Yeah, well, anyway, neither here nor there. Good deal. What's next?
Knuckle punch to the
Knuckle.
floor.
There we go. Get on down. If you so choose, Knuckles. Colton.
Hi, Sensei. Ich. Me. Son. She. Go. Roku. Sich. Hutch. Kill. Jew.
Oh. Count out, Colton.
Ich. Ni. Son, Shi, Go, Roku, Sich, Hutch, Kill, Joe.
Push-ups. On your knuckles if you dare. Come on. Hits. Knee. Salt. Sheep. Go. Rook. Sitch. Hutch. Coop. You. Stretch back. Recover. Plank. Droop.
What?
Oh, you.
Oh, thanks. Hajime. Stretch it out. And recover. Here, let's cut. Sensei, need it. Tomorrow got to go down, Sensei.
Hey, don't want to go through that list. Go to well. How's it going, Ben Shinkan?
It's going pretty good.
Did you go train with Sensei?
Hey,
How's it
that's why I'm late. I didn't change out because I was like, I guess I better get on here just to get on here, right?
Well, I mean, technically you're not late because you were probably already training before we were, but you know.
Yeah.
Good deal. What'd you guys work on?
Tonfa.
All right. Sounds good.
And then some pie size.
Also good. So there, Ben, who just joined us, he trains with my sensei. He's down in Arkansas, so he trains. So he was just at my sensei's place training, and then he came here to keep me honest. I'm glad he's a Luddite, so he doesn't watch the videos, and because then he'd be coming back going like, Don told me to tell you.
I guess he's just lucky he doesn't have very good internet.
All right. I don't know. Maybe, I mean, I'd love to have him in here. I'd love to be able to. If I could have got over there, if he hadn't been in a hospital, it hadn't been a storm, if the other 8 things that got in the way of us getting together while I was there, I was going to try and get him set up somehow so we could stream a class, but he didn't.
Yeah, with his internet, he can't even watch Netflix.
How does he live?
I don't know.
He's got lots of DVDs. Lots of DVDs.
DVDs. Those like 8 tracks?
Yes, exactly. You put them on, you put a needle on it, and it reads the.
He's got some Betamaxes.
Hey, we had Betamaxes on the boat. We had a beta machine on the boat, and this was in the 90s, right? So, we got all our tapes, we got them all in beta, so, and when I went back to news, we were shooting on beta, so, but yeah, like, it couldn't stand that extra, what, 2 square inches that a VHS is, better than a, well,
yeah.
What is this? So, wow, it's already 8 something. One thing I want to mention, and 8:15. So one of the things I wanted to mention, and it's more for probably Jujansha and Ben, I'm sure Angela Sensei already does this, but I was watching back when you were doing your Churanuke, Drew.
Right.
You were doing it kind of old school. And what I was noticing on that, what you were putting into it, I don't know if you were meant to or you're just doing it, was what I heard it called one time. It said lead hands. You put lead in your hand, and it's basically just like when you do that hikate and it channels your chi and comes up into your hands, right? So that's where your granola goes. So if you have like an empty hand or a dead hand where there's nothing going on and you're just hitting something and it doesn't mean anything, but when you put some lead in your hands, I don't know if you can hear that, but there's a difference of, and it's, I'm not hitting any harder. I'm just putting some lead, I'm letting that, lack of a better word, your chi, I'm letting my granola go to my hand. So when I punch and you're loose and you're tight, it's, that's an example of lead hands, of when you're hitting somebody. And when you're uke and you receive that technique, when someone's coming in to throw a punch and you're doing that drill, kind of like we were talking about, you need to put some lead in your hand, because if you're just back there hanging out on your back leg and doing this, and someone comes to kick you or punch you or hit you, all your weight's going to go that way. So you're going to go that way. So you need to put some lead in your hands. You need, when that hand comes up, you need to put some lead in your hand. So take a second, take a hand if you got one. Take your other hand if you got one, and just hit it. Just hit it like that. See, I'm not doing it. All right. And then think about putting lead in your hands. Just feel like you've got like a weight, And this is the thing that's those of us who have heavy bags or some sort of something to strike, So when you're hitting it, and then you put the lead in the hands, and really all you're doing is, what's the number to roll the dojo?
Intent.
You're putting intent into it, right? It's as opposed to going, I'm not trying to hit right here, and I'm not necessarily trying to hit all the way through. I mean, that's what we talk about, like Kyokushin, guys talk about like just, aim for their spine when you hit them, right? Well, that's the number 1 rule of the dojo, right? Penetrate. It's like, you're not trying to think, you're trying to, there's the difference of I'm hitting and I'm hitting.
Right.
You get, and there's lots of tricks, and you get your hip in there and or whatever, but really it's just putting that lead in your hand. So one of the things that I recommend everybody do is, if you have something, get anything. You can get your tishatsu that you have, right? And put it on there and just hit it, and just think about lead in your hand. And you're hitting it with intent, you're not hitting on the surface, you're hitting back here, right? Yeah, if you have a one of those yoga foam targets or whatever, just hit, right? Because for Drew and for Ben, if you're doing these really small techniques, you're using your granola and stuff to add some of that, but you really need to put some lead in your hands, right? And that's all driven by a lot of different things. It's driven by weight drops. It's driven by your hips. It's driven by your kiju, your center line, all that stuff. It all comes into play. I've often said in this system, it's very sloppy. Like, you can do a lot of stuff and get away with it. But the more precise you are, the better off it is. Julian has seen the example of 6Q number 6, right? And about having your toe pointed a certain way.
Okay.
It works better one way. If your toe is pointed the other way and you do it, it just doesn't work as well. You can
Right.
call that, channeling your chi or, whatever you want to do. It just doesn't work. I don't know why. But anyway, so putting weight in your technique, and this is also going to drive into doing your kata. It's going to help with your Kihon. Because if you're doing punch, kick, punch, kick. But if you're doing punch, kick, punch, kick, you're getting some lead in your hands, right? Didn't.
Hi, Sensei.
When I visited Andrew Sensei's school, I felt a lot of lead. And it didn't feel like they were moving super fast a lot of times, but there was nothing. A prime example is, and I'll show it when I do the lineage pictures here in a minute. And I talked about them last week. Those of you who came to class, or actually last class, those who came to class. Buck Gilmore, who's the sensei of the dojo when I first started, we were just doing Ippon Kumite one day, and I was standing there, and he said, "I'm going to hit you with this hand." I was like, "Okay." And he went like this. And that's how fast he moved. And I tried to block it, and I couldn't block it. He was just, and he wasn't born in, he wasn't digging in, he wasn't, he was just, but he had lead in his hands. He just drove in, and then when he hit me, when it finally actually just hit me, it was just a good solid, like, oh, because he, used his knuckles, and he plowed right into me, and he didn't move. He wasn't moving he just stood as far away as I am, and he hit me, and he just drilled into me because he just had lead in his hands. I didn't understand that then. I hadn't heard of that statement, and he didn't bring it up, but he was just trying to tell me, that's how you get it. You put lead in your hands. So, so next week when we're training together, let's try and put some lead in your hands when you're doing your techniques. I mean, for your kicks, not necessarily, but I mean, you can still put that, get some oomph in there because you're just putting that snap is kind of putting lead in your hand, right? So pay attention to those. Andrew Sensei, do you got any thoughts on that?
I would say that one of the things a lot of people I've seen neglect is the tension that is required in the grip as you reach the point of impact. You're supposed to tense the hand to a maximum to make your hand more compact, and it's going to be harder. So that will put lead in your hand as well, because it's like the hot potato versus the frozen potato, right? The hot potato is going to splash and spread the power across, and if you have a frozen potato and you hit, then the impact will be more compact or focused, so it's going to have a bigger impact on the target. So one of the things we do is relax, tense. As you hit it, relax, tense, and that will create, but it's difficult to coordinate the breath, the tension, all of that. That takes many repetitions.
Yeah, absolutely. And then so that's a very good point. So when we do those, the down blocks, you do them fast, you breathe through it, but then when you come back, you're breathing slow. When we're doing push-ups, you breathe in as you're coming in, you breathe out when you're pushing out. Learning when to breathe and how to hold it and get it. For if you're at a school that does a lot of groundwork and grappling and stuff like that, learning when and how to breathe is very important. When someone's
also helpful. Also very helpful if you're not going to get out of breath too quickly.
So on the video that I have uploaded from last week, but have not given you the link for yet, the screenshot was a screenshot I took from the movie Red Belt, where the guy said, what he said, he goes, what's the number one rule? And the guy said, don't get tired, let the other guy get tired. Well, one of the ways you do that is by breathing, doing the thing. Remember when we went to Hank and Chris's dojo, Judancha and I went and we did that seminar, and we ended up on the ground, and Drew and I were on the ground and we were doing whatever. We finally got done, and Drew was breathing heavy, and I wasn't breathing as heavy. It's because I was trying, I was making him do more work than I wanted to do, right? Because again, what's the number one rule of the dojo?
Breathe.
No, lazy karate.
Lazy
right?
man karate. To
Don't
be
do
fair,
anything
I'm
more.
also carting around 100 pounds more than you.
We were both laying down, right? And you were actually on top of me. So anyway, but that's the thing. Hey, I was in the Navy, man. I know how to like take a nap. Anyway, so lead in your hands, focus technique, stuff like that. These are all little things that make everything better. Big circles, right? Go into smaller circles. Okay.
Hi, Sensei. And for the record, also, I was doing that on purpose because I never have liked the dead hand. Like, it's not just a check. Like, for me, I always imagine a grab and a hit. So I was doing that on purpose, specifically for that reason.
Well, and that's the other thing, especially for Judansha and Benshinkan, is yes, both those hands should be active. When you said it a million times, this spare hand is not doing nothing. It's doing something. When you're doing your shuto block, this hand is arguably, this hand is parrying and this hand is striking. This hand is grabbing and this hand is striking. This hand is moving it away and this hand is striking, right? On a tight spot. So both hands are doing something. When this hand is coming back, if it's closed, it's either striking something or it's got a hold of something, right? So if they punch and you do your thing and bam, and you grab them to bring them back down here to put them in a hikite, to grab them, whatever, load that leg, load that front leg, pull them off their balance so you can kick them. Both of these hands need to be doing something. He's striking something or parrying something, or blocking, whatever you want to call it. Okay.
Hi, Sensei.
And the more you visualize that when you're doing your technique, you'll get the lead in your hands, right? Because whenever you're doing stuff, like when we were at Wayne Sensei's class and doing the drills, and whenever hands were in play, I would do whatever we were doing, whatever the technique was, it doesn't matter. But then then I was looking for like where I'm going to hit. I can get another shot in there. I can get another shot in there. I can grab. I can do a nikite. I start looking for the ways to make it our system, right? Even though it's another system, right? So, but it's both hands being active. Anyway, so what I wanted to talk about real quick was that picture that I put up. I'm just going to pop it up again. Actually, I'm going to pop this one up. This is my background. There it is. All right, so these guys right here. Can you see? Everybody see?
Right.
All right, everybody knows who that guy is, right?
Right.
All right, and then that guy is your grand sensei, right? This guy is our sensei. This is the guy I was talking about, Buck Gilmore. Right, okay, so he's the guy who said, I'm going to hit you. And then, and as I said, I think on Tuesday, he was a surgeon and we were sparring one time. And I said, like, well, if you hurt me, you got to heal me. And he said, not if I kill you. So, and this is a picture from like 86, 87, somewhere around there. It's my sensei, Don Foster, who Benshinkan was just training with. And then his instructor, your grand sensei, he's not listening, right, Ben? Jerry Partain. He was no longer in our federation. Buck has moved to Arizona somewhere, and he was going to, and of course.
That's another $1.
That's another day. That's okay. It's my dojo. I can say it. Anyway, but the important flick was that the reason why I wanted to show this when I found all these pictures was like this is your lineage, right? These three guys, this is how far you are away from Hanshi, right? That's how far away you are from him is, 1, 2, 3, right? So, I mean, I'm not a direct student of Hanshi. I am not a direct student of Partain Sensei. I wasn't at the time, but I am a direct student of these two guys, right? So, Buck ran the dojo for about a year, and then he moved or whatever, and then Foster Sensei took it over. So, anyway, but I said it's kind of a nice walk down memory lane. When you see stuff like that, bam! What does that look like?
Block sweep jab.
Yeah. So this is Bill Brown, who he teaches in Jonesboro. This is actually in Little Rock that we were in at a seminar when Partain Sensei came, and it was one of the times where he and Bill Brown, like Bill Brown would come at him, he would give Bill Brown like this big old Bowie knife, like a live blade. He's like, come get me. And Bill Brown would come get him. He was like a ranger or a Green Beret or something. So he didn't mess around. Really nice, sweet guy. But
very tall and big.
huh?
He's very tall and big.
Yeah, and he would just, I mean, they would go at it, and Partain Sensei, and you would hear Bill Brown like grunt and moan and scream, and he was putting the techniques on him. So here he's demonstrating, of course, something from Patai, or maybe he's doing block sweep jab, right? So.
I Sensei.
Oh, look, somebody take a picture of that.
Who's the creeper in the background? Giving the weird grin.
That'd be Foster Sensei.
Really?
Grand Sensei. Yep.
Wow.
That's
really creepy.
He's probably just happy it wasn't him.
Man, I should take some of these pictures of what. So this is them. So, and the reason why I wanted to show you these pictures for a couple reasons. One, like the lineage. So this is Tim Shokot, the guy right there. And they're doing Paisai Dai, I think. Anyway, but Partain Sensei told us a story about these pants, and he said that the strip of the black is like what level you are as a fighter, as a kumite. So he's like a thick one. He said he's like not that great because Hanshi had a gi and it had like a little black stripe on it, and he said, when the smaller the stripe, it's the better your fighter you are. And I think now, when I heard that when I was a green belt or a white belt, I was like, ooh, that's so cool. I think that's not correct. I think that may have been a little, knowing what we know now about what Partain Sensei said sometimes, that may have been, but when I saw these pictures, I was marveling because I was like, when I watched this doing this video, because for, as I said on Tuesday, for all his personal issues, he was a fantastic martial artist. He was, I mean, watching him do kata, watching him do technique, amazing. And so watching them do these kata, and Marla, and now that 30 some odd years later, I'm doing them, and because like I'm never going to do those kata. I'm never going to be able to do that cool technique. I'm never, because he's got the big stripe on his pants, so I'll never be there. And it's, here I am, doing this. You poor schmucks got to listen to me. But the thing, you don't know, but it's kind of, it takes a long time in a river to make a rock smooth, right? So, seeing these guys that I, grew up idolizing and, being amazed at, and now I'm at essentially the same level now that, two of these guys were at the time. They were Yondan, Godan, whatever. And now, here I am. Actually, I think they were Nidan back then. But anyway, so I'm now a higher rank than they were in those pictures. I'm doing those kata now. And so, like, Sarah, Colton, Judansha, this is going to be you. You may be looking at what we're doing and, watching the videos, as I'm sure you do, of the classes when I post them up, and you see what the senior guys are doing. But I'm sure you're not. I'm sure you're fast forwarding past it because that's the right thing to do. You'll see the stuff that they're doing. You may think, I'm never going to get there, but yes, you will. And here's photographic proof. Then the other picture I found, which I thought was kind of fun, was this was my Shodan test. So all the gear.
Were you like fighting bees or something? Like
I was fighting. This is if I can, Rich Ross. He was a Shodan Nidan. He was about 5'5" and about 5 wide, and it was all muscle. And you can see I had the Bogu gear on, so I got the kendo helmet on and the big thing and the big horsehair gloves and whatnot. And notice he's not wearing those. And I don't think he had the Bogu. He's got the Bogu chest on. I don't think he had the hand gear on. He was like about 1,000,000 miles faster than I was, and he just beat me up.
They used to go full contact with it.
He just, and you didn't feel it. It didn't, but it just knocked the stink out of you, And sure enough, there I can. There, can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. So there's that's me on the floor. That's Partain Sensei, and I get knocked down. I'd be laying there, and you got the Bogu gear, right? So all you can see is just like a tunnel. And I'd suddenly see like Partain Sensei's face pop up, and he'd be standing there above me, going, he go like, "Can you breathe?" And I can think of, "Let me get up." And up I'd get, and then get back into that again, And so, and it was, so this is kind of what we were talking about the crucible last week, right? About how, it's like I didn't need crucible training. I didn't need to, try and figure out what I could do. There is an important lesson to just getting back up, because I choose to, just get up, but that was literally the first time I ever did that too, was my showdown test. It was like, he brought all that stuff and he's like, "Okay, everybody put this on." So, all the kumite I'd done before then had been, with like some pads on and whatnot, not an extra 60 pounds of weight. But all this stuff, so as I was talking about on Tuesday, all the stuff that we talk about, all the stuff that I asked, like Andrew Sensei about, stuff that Ben Shinkan knows, all this stuff is directly feeding into you. So, when I talk about, these guys, Hanshi taught Partain Sensei. Partain Sensei taught Gilmore Sensei and Foster Sensei. They taught me, and I'm teaching you. This is part of I guess, the whole story that I say when people talk about, this is how I get back to karate. I get back to all these people that taught me. Is now I try and perpetuate what they taught, what they have passed down, right? So even though I'm a small rock making a small ripple in a big pool, probably, there's the value for me in teaching is trying to, honor those guys and pass it on. And so, every now and then I'll think of something. I'm like, "Oh, that's what so-and-so said," I was like, "Oh, I remember." So the lead in the hands tied directly to me thinking about Buck Gilmore Sensei, and him hitting me that day. And I learned that lesson, but I didn't know how to apply the lesson until later. Got a little time in the river, got a little smoother, and heard a different term, lead in the hand, and then I got to tie it back. So all the stuff that we learn, all stuff that we talk about, like when we're doing, that thing, it's, you could say that is different. That's not, part of our system. Well, of course it is, because we have techniques where we're doing, it's Shinto, right? It's a reverse of the same thing. When you get to black belt, when you do your paisai kata, or not your paisai, your pinon kata, you'll see all these techniques come in, and you'll get to tie it back. So if you stay, you keep training, you do what you got to do, you listen to what everyone's saying, and then you start applying it to the system. You'll start seeing the repeating concepts. You'll start seeing how things relate. And even though you may hear it now when you're a white belt, a dirty white belt, or a neophyte black belt, or a lofty yandan, and then 20 or 30 years later, you'll hear it, you'll see it, something will kick off, and you'll get to apply it in the next class, and maybe it makes some more clarity. So I wanted to bring those pictures just because when I was looking at them, I was like, wow, I remember how much I was marveling looking at those guys doing their kata and thinking, I'll never be doing that kata. That's a sandan kata. That's well, I'll never see that. Now I have trouble remembering it. So anyway, so there's all that. So we've been doing a lot of stuff with the Tai Sabak and the bias and change drills. We'll get some more of those going. We'll get back to doing kata here real soon. Any questions, comments, or concerns?
Yeah.
Yeah. Andrew Sensei, anything?
Yeah, Sensei.
No, Sensei. No questions.
All right. Thanks for coming again, Robert. It's good seeing you. It's good training with you. Hey, next time you come, bring some of your Kihon drills, and we'll do those. We'll knock those out. Because we were talking about doing some stuff about CrossFit. That's one of the things I want these guys to see different applications for the same thing. Benjamin Khan, thanks for making it here. All right, Judansha, take us home.
Hey, Sensei. Kyosuke! Ushiro mo ate migi, gito obinaus. Hai. Come in. Sensei ni de. Domo arigatou gozaimasu, Sensei.
Domo arigatou gozaimasu.
Sensei ni de. Sayonara, sensei.
No,
Sayonara, everybody.
Hey, dai senpai ni de. Hey, tomarigato, senpai.
You don't have to.
Hey. And
Hey,
go ahead. Hey. All right.
go ahead. Hey,
And
good job. Not a big workout, but I mean, I got a little sweat going. I don't know about you. But,
I don't know
so-
about you. I got pretty